I'm Shani Pierre, and I'm the new director at the Maison Française, and I'd like to welcome you to today's panel discussion on the U.S. and the European Union in a time of change. Is Obama's victory misunderstood in Europe? With Walter Russell Mead and Yannick Mireur, and the discussion will be moderated by Charlie Cobb from the Committee for Economic Development. I'd like to first thank our co-sponsor of this event, the French-American Foundation, whose president Antoine Troy is here as well, and to thank in particular Joanna Kohler, who's Director of Policy Programs and who proposed this event and proposed that we co-sponsor it together with the French-American Foundation. I hope you enjoy today's discussion and that you come back for more events soon. We have brochures with upcoming events outside. We have, on October 28th, for example, a conversation on the work of Marcel Proust with Antoine Compagnon and Adam Gopnik, also co-sponsored with the French-American Foundation. So please enjoy today, pick up a brochure on your way out, and come back soon. And I will turn over to Joanna Kohler, who's going to introduce Charlie Cobb.
Thank you for your kind words, Shani. I'm very pleased to introduce our moderator, Charles Kolb, who is the president of CED, the Committee for Economic Development. CED is a business-led public policy organization that was created in the 1940s and helped design the Marshall Plan. Today, CED works on issues such as healthcare, education, campaign finance reform, and trade policy, among other important topics. Before joining CED, Charlie worked at United Way of America, he was general counsel. He helped clean up the scandal that they had there in the 1990s. Before that, he spent 10 years in government, ending up in the first Bush White House, where he served as deputy assistant to the president for domestic policy. And I will just finish by saying that Charlie is a great Francophile. And I will now leave the floor to you to introduce our speakers. Thank you.
This here soon. Thank you very much, Joanna, and thank you, Shani. Welcome to everyone who is here. Thank you all for attending what I think will be a very interesting, engaging, and thoughtful discussion. Just a couple of words about Shani Pierre and the Maison Française. It's been my pleasure to have known Shani for a number of years. I think the first time we worked together was back on a forum you were doing at the French-American Foundation on healthcare, and the topic was what can the United States learn from the French experience. And so I've been very pleased to follow Shani's career, and she has now recently this fall taken over the helm of the Maison Française. I know she has lots of ideas, and you've got a great leader here, and it will be fun, and it will be good for Colombia and the Maison Française. So Shani, congratulations. And Joanna, thank you very much for your introduction. I must confess that before I was a moderator, I was a midwife. And I think that what I mean by that is, I won't share the story, Yannick knows it, but we actually met some months ago through a mutual friend, and I think I was indirectly responsible for introducing Yannick to Joanna at the foundation, and so sort of one thing led to another, and this program evolved. So anyway, so such is my role as a midwife. So Yannick, it's good to see you. So now I will switch to my role as a moderator, and it's an honor to introduce two people who are intellectually brilliant and people that I have admired and whose writings I have read. We're going to go in this order, starting with Walter Russell Mead and then Yannick. Walter Russell Mead is the Henry Kissinger Senior Fellow for U.S. Foreign Policy at the Council on Foreign Relations here in New York, and one of the country's leading students of American foreign policy. He's written a number of books. I've been privileged to read him for many years in Foreign Affairs and other magazines, and real pleasure to meet you today, Walter. His book, Special Providence, American Foreign Policy and How It Changed the World, was published by Knopf in 2001 and has also received a number of awards around the world, including the Lionel Gelber Award for the best book in English on international relations in 2002. His newest book is called God and Gold, Britain, America, and the Making of the Modern World, also published by Knopf in 2007. He's written for every publication you can think of in this country, and has focused on a number of issues that are very important to our country and the world in which our country has to exist. He teaches in addition to his writing, and it's a real pleasure to have you here and to meet you. And Yannick Mireur is a political scientist and an international affairs specialist who focuses on U.S. politics and foreign relations. He is the founder and editor-in-chief of Politique Américaine, which is the leading French journal on U.S. affairs. And his newest book, which I've had a chance to take a look at in English, is called After Bush. That's the W. Bush. After Bush, Why America Will Not Change, with an introduction by Mireur. And it's quite well done. And very pleased that you wrote it. What I didn't know was that you had worked for some years with Dan Jurgen at Cambridge Energy Research Associates. So Yannick brings a remarkable combination of skills in both energy and defense issues, as well as U.S. and global policy issues. He is focused on topics such as how American capitalism influences U.S. foreign policies. I'm particularly interested in what you think American capitalism is right now, because we've had some issues. So I've told Shani and Joanna I'm not a shy moderator, so here's the game plan. Our speakers are going to go each for 12 to 15 minutes each, and then I will try and pose some questions to both of them to get a dialogue going, but you should be thinking about questions that you might want to ask, and I've been known to call on people at random. So this is a university, so you know the drill. We're going to start now with Walter.
Great. Well, thanks for the introduction, and thanks to Maison Française and the French-American Foundation for the invitation. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here, and certainly share a platform with Yannick, whose work I also admire. Did the Europeans misunderstand Obama's election? I think in some ways that's the second question, because the first question may be, did Americans misunderstand Obama's election? And I think to some degree they did. We did. That is, and certainly the administration did. I think there's a strong belief in the administration, particularly against the background of the acute financial panic at the time of the inauguration, that the election of 2008 was one of those transformative elections, like the election of 1932, that usher out one period in American history and usher in another. And that the president had a transformational mandate, that people had really, just as the same way in 1932, Americans had grown indescribably weary of the pieties and orthodoxies of the 1920s and wanted something quite different. So President Obama, like President Roosevelt, could now preside over a deep transformation of the country's culture and politics. I think more and more it looks like his mandate was a little bit more like Bill Clinton's in 1992. That is, people were, while there were a lot of people who were sick and tired of the ideas of American conservatism, there were probably the voters who put him in office and who will keep him there